Recently, my videos have been attracting a lot of the passport bro community, and the thing is that I believe that these passport bros are just betas who have disowned their betaness. They're betas who are not standing up to their betaness. They just don't want to admit it, okay?
Passport bros are tired of dealing with the entitlement, bad attitude, and behavior that they have to put up with if they date in the West. So they go to other countries like Asia, South America, and Africa to find women who treat them far better than the women in the West do.
Because passport bro community is just men who are being triggered by the Western women. So they go online and hate on all the Western women who are not the way they want them to be.
Nobody is hating on you. You can do whatever you want, but that also means men can do whatever they want to. And if they don't want to date a woman that behaves like you, then that is their choice to do so. You calling them losers because they would rather go to a different country to date rather than just dating you shows that you're actually the triggered one and not them.
They're trying to prove to themselves that they can get what they couldn't get in Europe, they can get it in other countries, right? Generally does not like Western women, okay? And these are the people I'm going to be addressing. These are the people who are, in my opinion, the disowned betas. So the reason why you are going to the other countries to find a woman is because the women in the West are not respecting you, okay? And it's so easy to put the blame on the women, like, oh my god, women are entitled. It's so easy to point fingers at women, like, she's this, it's the woman's fault, this is the reason why I'm going to Thailand, whatever. See, the thing is, can you just really take a mirror and look at yourself? It's so easy to blame the woman.
The reason why they go to other countries is because the women there treat the men much better than they do here. It's really that simple.
Because if Western women trigger you, if you are satisfied with the way they function, with the way they are entitled, then they're triggering you. If they would not be triggering you, you would not be a passport bro, okay? But they're triggering you. And whenever something triggering you, it's because there's something wrong about you. There's something triggering something in you, okay?
Here's what she's actually saying. If you don't want to date me, that means there's actually a problem with you and not me. Because who wouldn't want to date me? There's plenty of passport bros who have no issue dating in the West, yet they would still prefer to date in the East simply because they have a much better experience dating there. Obviously, not everyone in the East is good and not everyone in the West is bad. It's just more common to run into bad experiences dating in the West compared to the East due to the difference in culture and values.
So whenever you experience this kind of a trigger, it's important to take a mirror and ask yourself, what part are they triggering in me? And what I have noticed in my life dealing with passport bros is that it's their own insecurities. Either they cannot afford a Western woman, they are not tall enough for a Western woman, they are not successful enough for a Western woman, they're not educated enough. Because let me tell you one thing, there are alpha male in women, and alpha male is felt. It doesn't matter if you are a true alpha male, you would not have a single problem getting any woman. Doesn't matter if it's from America, doesn't matter if it's from Europe, doesn't matter if it's from Antarctica, I do not care. If you are a true alpha male, you would not have the slightest problem getting any woman in this world. But since you are inferior, insecure, and you don't have what it takes to get any woman in this world, you just lower your standards in a way.
The reason why passport bros exist is because they're going to a different country to find a woman that meets their standards, rather than settling for undesirable traits and behaviors they are experiencing in their original country. And I find it funny. She suggests that Eastern women are lower quality, by saying passport bros are lowering their standards, yet fails to realize the qualities men look for tend to be much more abundant and easier to find in Eastern countries.
And go to these other countries where you are going to get that masculinity hit, because you cannot get that in Western countries. You know, in Western countries, you have to be someone to get that. You have to be educated, you have to make a lot of money, you have to make all this. But since you probably are not on any of this is why you go to these other countries.
I forgot to mention that she sells pictures and videos of herself online. So she fits the criteria that men are trying to avoid, and she knows it, which is why she is so upset about them traveling to other regions to find women.
Are not on any of this is why you go to these other countries to get women where they are going to respect you. Because in these other countries, you know, if you go to Thailand, if you go to Philippines, if you are a white man or an American man, you're automatically getting worshipped. Why? Because they automatically think that you are bringing Western money, that you are someone because you're somebody from the West. And these kind of countries, they kind of worship the West in a way that they are definitely making more money than people in Southeast Asia, for example. So of course, a Southeast Asian woman is going to respect you and love you even more, and give you all the attention and be all this submissive, beautiful girl, whatever, because she automatically, this is the image of Western men in their mind. But as soon as you come back to Western country, as soon as you come back to the United States of America or to Europe, you are automatically nobody.
For the sake of displaying how flawed her argument is, let's act like everything she said is true. The women in these Eastern countries are just like her, where they only respect you if you have money and status. But once you go back to your original country, you get treated like a nobody. In this situation, it would make more sense to date in the Eastern country, since you still get treated much better there than you would in your original country. So what is the point she's trying to make? And to drive this point home, let's say you're extremely successful in the West and get treated with respect there. If you go to the East, you would get even more respect and get treated even better. So regardless of your circumstance, it would still be more beneficial to date in the East, according to her.
You know, you have to be really someone in these countries to be admired, okay? You have to be someone. But since you're not, this is why I go to these other countries. And this is why I go on the internet and spread hate about Western women, because they're triggering you. They're triggering your inferiority. They're triggering your lack of money, your lack of confidence, your lack of masculinity. But you're not going to be triggered if you go to these other countries, because you're automatically a god. A true alpha does not care where he is, because he's gonna be able to get any woman. Also noticed is that some of these passport bros, they just don't want to put any effort into the relationship. You know, in the West, you have to put effort, right? In the West, you have to actually make some money. You have to spend money to be with a woman. You have to...
Men don't have a problem with putting effort into a relationship. They just have a problem doing it for you specifically. Probably because your entire view of men stems from how rich they are and how much status they have. No man, including men with those things, would put effort into a woman who only wants them for those shallow reasons.
Really work to do that. But as soon as you go to these other countries, it's so simple for you to get admiration, to get any woman, to treat her, because everything is cheap. So you're just somebody who is lazy and does not want to put any effort into these women. Just want to get everything for free, because you know you're gonna get that because you're someone in these countries, since you're no one. So what about you just admit that you are just not having what it takes to be an alpha in the Western country, and this is why you're feeling so triggered by Western women, and you go to these other countries to make up for this trigger and to get a little bit of a hit of admiration, since you can't get that anywhere else. influential and very rich men in the West. And let me tell you one thing, they like a good challenge, okay?
I've never heard a single man ever say they want a challenge. I've only heard women saying men want a challenge.
They like to be able to get the best woman of the best. Doesn't mean she's gonna be masculine, but they just want to have a challenge, right?
You sell pictures and videos of yourself online. You are very far from the best of the best.
They don't want to get anybody easy like you can get in the Philippines or in Thailand or wherever just because you're a white man. Or you're a Western man coming with Western money. Actual rich alpha male like a challenge. Actual influential men want a woman on their shoulder that is a goddess. They do not want a woman that anybody can have.
If that were the case, one of these rich men would have married you by now, but they haven't, so now you spend your time insulting men for dating women in different countries because you think you're better than the women in Eastern countries and can't stand the fact that men are choosing them over you. If you enjoyed this video, I promise you'll enjoy this next video. I will see you there.